Weird. Are we live? Yeah. We are live.
What are you doing with your fingers, Barnes?
How are you, chap?
I've almost forgotten what you look like. This is worth a bear hug.
Come on. Come in. How are you, mate?
Very well. 5 months.
Wow.
5 months, Barnes, that's all I'm saying. 5 months current producer since our last show.
150 days.
Apparently a couple of jokers have been sitting here occasionally and making a mess of it all.
You say jokers, but I've yet to laugh.
So you'd watched it?
Yeah, a couple, just to see what the competition is.
And did it cure your insomnia?
No.
No. Seriously, boys, love the show. I haven't seen it, but I'm sure it's good. Anyway, why don't you ask me what's on the show tonight, Barnes?
Well, I've been looking forward to this. Bear, what's on the show tonight?
In a packed show tonight, Barnes.
See, we haven't lost it. You've not lost it.
Now, as I have mentioned a couple of times, because the current producer's been a bit like rocking horse poo, we haven't really had a session for 5 months. Anyway, so we've got a lot to explain. Lots happened over the last 5 months, so we're going to do a little bit of explaining about what's happened over the last 5 months generally, about life, about sport, not necessarily about Oxford.
So this is a 14-hour podcast.
This is going to be, well, it's quite a long one, certainly. We'll have to cut out all the boring stuff like Harry and Meghan and stuff like that. And then we're going to talk to what's been happening at Oxford Downs. It's nearly the start of the cricket season, 2 months away, and that's going to be 2 podcasts we've been promised, so you're going to get a full treatment all the way through, which is great.
Well, I'd like to think so.
You'll be sick and tired of us. Then we have had some acquisitions.
I've heard. Big dollar.
Yeah, we have. Honestly, we are now playing the highest standard of cricket as an amateur in this country.
Amazing, isn't it?
And as a result of that, we have lots of new players coming. I'm very excited about that. Then we have people going the other way, only temporarily. We have some players abroad experiencing life in New Zealand, apparently.
Players, I heard.
Well, yes, that's up for debate. Then we've got a little bit of On Your Son, the second favourite son. He's doing something rather incredible, so we'll talk about that. We've got a bingo night coming up. We'll do a bit of advertising on that, where I'm going to invent all of my sayings for each number based on inappropriate Oxford Downs players. So that could be quite interesting.
So it's a strictly over 18s bingo night.
Yes, we'll talk about the new league and the fixtures we've got, and we can talk about the women's team that's going to be playing.
Not ladies.
As well.
Can't say ladies.
No,
team.
Women's team. So anyway,
sorry, Matt. Have I said the wrong thing?
Some of you viewers who watched us ages ago when we had our last podcast.
Viewer.
Yeah.
Get it right.
We'll remember that we had a bit of a feature about hats at the start of each show. Now, you'll notice that Barnes isn't wearing one because he's forgotten, because it's been such a long time. And I'm wearing what is currently my only hat, because my car was stolen from my drive and it had all my hats in it, apart from this one that just happened to be lurking in my kitchen.
Is that not your Arsenal going to?
This is my Arsenal going to hat, so I feel as though it's destiny.
Well, you've worn it before.
I have worn it before, which is a little bit embarrassing, because I did promise you
I'd
never wear the same.
As well, didn't they?
I'd never. Well, I don't know. We were too busy thrashing Liverpool at our place 3-1. I think.
Someone's tired.
But it's anyway. It's going to be a fantastic season. Can I just say to the people who did steal all my hats in my car from at the end of October, thank you very much for that. It's been a great learning curve and a great experience, and I hope you're enjoying wearing my red bowler hat and all of my Oxford Downs hats.
Not your bowler hat.
Yeah.
Have you checked eBay or Vinted to see if it's appeared on there?
I don't know. I think it's in a lay-by in Charlbury, apparently.
Is that where you left it?
No, that's not where I left it. So anyway, Barnes, in the last 5 months, we've had a Cricket World Cup.
We have.
You remember that? How well did we do in that?
Yeah, I didn't think we were that good, were we? Were we 10th or something out of 11 or something?
I think we were victims of the fact that we played a lot of T20 and a lot of Test cricket and not very much 50 over in the middle.
It was shambolic.
We'd forgotten how to do it.
It was shambolic.
Yeah. Let's move on. Baseball. We played better baseball in Test matches than we did. So let's move on. And who'd have thought at the start of the Rugby World Cup that we'd get further in that than we did in the cricket?
Well, I did watch 1 or 2 podcasts back, and you did ask me who I thought I'd win it, and guess what?
Yes, I know. Yeah. How on earth they did, I don't know.
Because they scored more points than other teams in the other games.
I think they had a little bit of help from the referee. If you want my
do you?
I do.
What, Wayne Barnes, best referee in the world?
I don't want to be too controversial.
I think they deserve to win it. They beat Ireland, they beat France, they beat us, and then beat New Zealand in the final.
Yeah, that's probably a similar route to Liverpool getting the quadruple this year.
You really are bitchy, aren't you? What's wrong with you? We haven't seen each other for 5 months.
I'm sorry, viewer. That's enough about it. So we have a very Scouser-based audience here today, so I feel a little bit threatened.
And rightly so.
Also, on slightly more serious notes, we've obviously been experiencing the cost of living crisis.
Yes.
And in your line of industry, has that been showing in your clients and your customers?
No, not really. No.
No, I have to say I went to Westfield Shopping Centre on Sunday, and there wasn't an awful lot of signs of cost of living crisis going on there?
No.
Absolutely heaving, with people spending an unbelievable amount of money.
I had a weekend in London a few weeks ago, and that was just carnage. And I was in Edinburgh Saturday for the weekend. There's no cost of living crisis up there.
I was going to talk to you about your little trip to Edinburgh with your favourite son. Presumably, you had one ticket, and you had to make the choice between the two, and there really wasn't much of a competition, was it?
Well, one's busy making babies, so I thought I'd take the other one.
Don't worry, we're going to get onto that. we're going to get onto that, Maggot, so be prepared. Put the family away before we do that. But yes, so you obviously had a good time up there.
Amazing.
And for the first 5 minutes of the game, you must have been, well, obviously as a Welshman, you must have been fairly neutral about the whole thing, weren't you?
Clearly very, very neutral, yeah.
I thought after the first 5 minutes, actually, it looked as though England had remembered how to play rugby. And then we forgot. And thankfully, I wasn't there. I've been up there many times and seen England beat Scotland, but this time it would have been hard work, I suspect.
It was a magical weekend.
Rugby was the winner?
Rugby got in the way for 80 minutes. We did play some rugby for the first 20 minutes, and then the thing that disappointed me the most, because if you look at the stats, being a bit of a nose, you know, our scrummaging, our line-out, competition at the break, blah, 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 we were better than Scotland. We coughed the ball up 22 times. And and why, oh why, and I'm not slating any rugby player at that level because they're just a different level. Didn't, you know, if Johnson or Delalio or Leonard and those boys had been playing, they'd have pulled one or two in, stick it up the jumper, let's just keep the ball for a bit, lads. And we didn't do it, but there we go. I still think we'll come out and put a hell of a show on against Ireland and maybe scrape it.
I was at the Dean Richards match at Murrayfield where Scotland kicked it to him and he kept it for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
That was one hell of a game. I have to say, you and I both played centre. You may find this hard to believe, viewer, but we both played in the same position at rugby. Luckily, he never actually came across me, mainly because I probably wouldn't be able to catch him. But it did appear that our centres dropped the ball quite a lot, and basic handling errors turned the game against us.
Indeed.
But, you know,
there we go.
These sort of things happen.
But good weekend.
Sad news now. Many of you will have known Don Brooks, famous umpire and monitor of all umpires. Son Jack is a fantastic cricketer and is just going to be playing against us in the first game of the season. But our best wishes go to Jack and his family. Don, a great man, and I know that I spoke to Don at one of the away games and asked if he could ask Jack to do some work with Ollie Armstrong.
Yes.
And Jack was only too pleased to help that. So Don sort of brokered that deal, and that's great. But he was always very enthusiastic. Part of what I used to call the last of the summer wine brigade, wandering around many a boundary rope in Oxfordshire for many years. Rest in peace, Don. Yeah,
very sad loss. Very funny man. I always found him very endearing and always found a laugh somewhere on the line, normally from taking the mickey out of people. But
he was never very happy when we were critical about umpiring, I found.
Oh, well, you'd never catch me doing that.
He was very defensive about umpires, which is quite right when you're the monitor of all umpires.
Very, very sad. Very sad.
So, we are 2 months away from the start of the Christmas. How many weeks is it? 9. When is Paddy doing his square? Paddy is preparing his square to not be used all season.
Yeah.
And so by the end of the season, it will still be in mint condition. And incidentally, Paddy, thank you very much for turning my garden green while I was away during the week. And now I'm not allowed to walk on it. So anyway, the season's not that far away.
Yeah, good.
We have a new first team captain.
I've heard.
Captain Courageous Tom Costley has gone back to what we call the backbenchers. And he's made way for Matt Warner.
Yeah.
And so how do you see that transition of sort of ethos and
Well, I
chaos?
don't know, because they're very, very different characters.
Exactly.
Very different characters. And I know that Warren strategically is got a great cricket in mind, but Cockles was a character. So it'd be interesting, the dynamics. And I know that we are now playing the highest level amateur cricket, but we're still a village cricket club.
Yeah.
And I think it's very, very important that we keep the culture that we've got, because the boys are tight. And I know we've got a number of new players coming in, but those new players need to fit into what the club ethos and culture is all about. And if your number's up and you've got to go and play in the twos, you've got to suck it up and go and play in the twos and prove you should be back in the ones.
I mean, I don't think there's nothing wrong with Cockles' attitude that when he's out or something's gone wrong, he won't talk to anyone for about 2.5 hours.
Well, you learned that from Will.
Yeah, and so I think I think we were both like that in our playing days, that we were difficult to talk to after we'd we were out or whatever. But
yeah, it's probably because we were out of breath.
Well, yeah, there was that. Yeah.
Well, you lost your trousers again.
One thing I do hope is I hope that Matt doesn't underbowl himself. It's a temptation when you're a bowling captain to not want to seem to be hogging it, and he'll have Cockles next to him saying that you need to bowl and keep bowling or whatever. Especially,
I think Matt may rate himself as an all-rounder captain.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm looking at the potential team for this season with some of the influx of players that we've got, and I'm wondering, it's not going to be very easy to get in that top 5 or 6, is it?
They're going to have to play.
They're going to have to, and that's good. Competition is good.
Yeah. It strengthens the twos. And
I think we can say that Lister's chances of getting back in the first team have now gone.
I would guess.
Unless, of course, we're talking about Listy Junior.
Well, there is more chance.
Yes,
chance.
Of course. But
of Seb, probably.
It comes to all of us. Age comes to all of us at various times, and Listy has to understand that. He did get a double 100 once.
Did he?
Apparently. We've never let anyone forget it.
Oh, right.
No, never mind. Anyway, so...
look, he's waving. He got 2 of them.
2 double 100s.
2 double 100s. Was that on the old small ground? Didn't you play a game, Listy, when you only had 5 fielders and then you smashed it straight to the...
No, but they did turn up and have to saw the bales in half and take it out of the plastic bag.
Did they?
Yeah, so that was good. So not only that, but the legend that was, and probably still is, Eric Elwood, has departed as Master in Charge of Cricket. So we have a new Master in Charge of Cricket.
We do. Very tall left arm over.
Stuart Armstrong.
Yeah.
Who, shame he's not here because being a Geordie, he would love to talk to me about the way that we absolutely annihilated them on Saturday night.
To be fair, he had signed a quite lucrative deal to be here this evening.
Yes.
But then realised that you were a gooner, and then obviously after... And last night they were lucky, weren't they? Only scraped by against Blackburn last night, so he's not in a good place.
And do you know what? It's terrible, isn't it? I mean, their fans, though, I have to say, their fans are incredible. They're all nutters, but they are incredible.
I did see an incredible funny clip on social media that an Arsenal scarf had dropped from the top.
They were incredible. They stayed there till the very end. Most of them half naked, singing their guts out, and they've been absolutely walloped.
Yeah,
and it was just brilliant to see.
Good on
them. They
them.
are all nuts.
Good on them,
and it's good to see. Anyway, so we've got new Master in Charge of Cricket.
Yes,
he's going to be. I mean, he's not a dissimilar character to Eric, is he? I mean, I don't believe he's ever shut himself in the toilet, for instance. But I mean, but he's going to be quite laid back, but quite steely, I'd have thought.
Yeah, I think so. A lot less skeletons, I'd say, in Stuart's closet.
Well,
probably to the tune of 407. But there we go.
And is Eric in America already?
I'm not sure.
Do we know where Eric is?
Friday. We're still trying to clear
Eric's
his visa.
Going on Friday, so yes.
We're waiting for Joe Biden to wake up.
It's not guaranteed that they're going to let him into the country. But if he does get through the border, then we wish him all the very best in his new career.
I would say that if he goes any 23 hours any day, Biden will be asleep getting anyway.
Let's not get political.
Good luck, Eric.
Yeah, good luck, Eric, and good luck, Stuart, with your new job. Hopefully, you're chomping at the bit. We will, in our next podcast, if we can, have the new captain and the new Master in Charge of Cricket here as our guests.
Lively.
To tell us how they're going to shape the season to come, and how they're going to deal with the fact that we are playing the highest standard of cricket you can play as an amateur in this country.
You've never mentioned that.
No, it's true. No. Right, so acquisitions. And this is where we're going to rely on the current producer to do something technical. Now, based on the fact that there are fewer wires there than there ever have been before, and my microphone took 6 goes to work, I'm not 100% certain this is going to work. But
we've got more screens.
Yeah, we have got
more
screens.
One less camera.
Yes, yeah, one less. Fewer.
Why have we got less camera angles?
Yeah. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Anyway, so we have a West Indian,
proper
a West Indian off spinner. Apparently, he has a 6-pack to die for, very much like myself, and he also smashed. Well, it's just covered by a keg.
Good.
What can you do?
Yeah.
And he also waxed it a bit. And apparently, he's playing first-class cricket at the moment. And he got how many? A fifer. He got a fifer playing for Barbados, first-class cricket this last weekend.
A Michelle.
Exactly.
Yeah. Good on him.
And how do you say his name? Chaim Holder. No relation of Van Burn. No relation of Jason.
Carl.
So, well, I don't believe he is. He might be. Anyway, we'll soon find out. He's going to get called all of those nicknames during his time, because I certainly can't pronounce his name. So we're now going to see a clip of him in action, getting some wickets in the Caribbean. Take it over, current producer.
But here in Jamaica, there's a lot of trees. It's ball! So Holder gets the wicket of Shamar Brooks and the CCC team is in more trouble upon trouble. They are now 35 for the loss of 3. Excellent start by Holder. As you can see on the replay here, I tell you what, Andrew, that ball seemed to pitch outside and span back and hit the top of the middle stump. It's an absolute jaffa of a delivery by the youngster Shamar Holder, and this is more trouble for the CCC team. As you can see on the replay here, it pitched outside the off and it span back a long way, and the middle stump goes back, as well as Shamar Brooks.
The effort.
And that is it. The Barbados Pride, they're really putting in. I'm going right in upon a loud appeal this time. It's Gavin and Shamar Brooks on the stroke of the first session water break. He goes trapped in front, as you see on the replay here. Bang! Dead in front, and Alexi Holder gets his man for the second time in the match. And the CCC team is in a lot of bother here at Shredwin Park. They're 143 for the loss of 5 here at this wonderful venue.
Has potential all the way down. Oh, he bowled him. Well, he slid that one through, and that's the end of Rambaran after a little 2-boundary cameo. Shame Alexis Holder has the last laugh.
As you can see on the replay here, just skidded a bit through. Wow. He was playing back.
Who was that? Are we back on? Well, I would say one thing for watching those clips: don't go back on those Barbados
I think I'd be
wickets.
lunging well forward.
You would be.
My left foot would nearly be tripping the bowler up as he came in.
Would you?
He was so far down the wicket.
Would you?
Well, I had to do that, otherwise my lack of deftness with my feet would have meant I would trip up. But I do like the style of the commentary. I feel that we could have a bit of a Caribbean slant at various stages.
The first clip was brilliant.
Yeah,
we got to up our game. We're probably a bit boring.
He's a little bit quicker than Dave the Pro, and he gives it a bit more of a rip.
Definitely tears it.
As I say, he looks like a very good prospect, and he looks like he's going to add a little bit of spark to the whole proceedings. But I do believe...
First time in the UK.
Yes.
Are we sending Maggie to pick him up to take him pubs round Didcot, like last time we did with Dave the Pro? I wonder if he'll buy a pint, because Dave the Pro never bought me a pint.
Did he not?
No, and I bought him about 767.
I think he'll be a different character to Dave the Pro. I think Dave the Pro relied on accuracy, getting wickets, LBW with the ball that just didn't spin.
And free drinks from me.
And free drinks from you all season.
Yeah.
And this guy looks like he's an aggressive off-spinner.
Well, hopefully, and he'll give it a tonk.
Yeah. Yes,
I wonder if he'll end up on the wall like the other pro did.
Honestly, many great people have appeared on that. How many times have you been on there, Listy? 2. Just the same number as his double hundred.
Yeah, he hasn't told us about the others, clearly.
Anyway, so that's our...
We're talking cricketers.
That's our pro
producers.
viewer. Now we have obviously Cumnor. Unfortunately, were relegated last season.
Sadly,
which is a shame. 'Cause that was always a good fun local derby. I know lots of people at Cumnor. They're a nice bunch of guys. But as a result of that, some of their elite players have gone to other clubs, and we are the beneficiary of Tom Powell, who went to my alma mater. I'll have you know. And he's a very nice guy, and he knows all our guys pretty well.
Yes.
And so he'll fit in absolutely perfectly. And we've also got somebody that appeared on this show last season.
Well, so weirdly, do you remember he sat here, he was as nervous as a kitten, we obviously made him feel at home, and then he completely balls the quiz up, didn't he? Because he didn't even know what his favourite position was. And then I said to him, if you were ever to leave Cumnor, where would you go? Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, say no more. He said Ensham.
I know.
And now he's turned his back on 2 clubs to come here.
Well, I wonder whether he's got lost. And on the way to Ensham, he's taken the left turn. He's taken the wrong turn.
No, I've sussed it.
And if you've seen those films, you know what happens in those films.
Sliding doors.
It's terrible. No, I was thinking about the one where the cannibals eat them.
Oh, don't know.
Not that that's going to happen.
No. I tell you what it is. He's sussed. We're a much bigger club than Ensham. No disrespect.
More work.
More dollar.
More work.
You
So
mercenary.
anyway, so we have the bat doctor. So everyone... Has it done your bat, by the way?
No.
You gave him your bat at least 9 months ago now.
I think he's polished it.
He's polished it. So whatever happened, bat doctor, if you're watching and you're about to become a member of this club, whatever happened to Barnes's bat?
Bring my V12 back.
Was it a V12? It wasn't a jumbo, it was a
no,
V12.
proper.
A V12 from 1936. Once done up, it's going to be worth an absolute fortune. Anyway,
hardly used. I had it
so
for
we've got the
7
bat
seasons.
doctor, which is fantastic. And we've also got a guy called Harry Wren, who has flown in from Kent.
I see what you've done there.
What I've done there.
Yes, citizen rook you are.
Harry Wren, who asked which is the best club in Oxfordshire to join, and was unanimously told by every single person that he asked that Oxford Downs Cricket Club was the only club to join. And I don't know if has anyone seen anything in the nets? Has anyone?
Don't know.
Looks like a useful player. He's got a good record. Good record in Kent League. He played with Darren Stevens. So he played with Darren Stevens in the Kent League, which is good.
Darren Bent.
So obviously going to be a good acquisition as well. So that's
I hope he's got a decent bird.
Well, one thing's certain: in tight situations, he's not going to get in the flap.
Do you about the queer sparrow? Flew upside down for a lark. Anyway, move on.
Anyway, moving on. That's enough jokes about birds of the feathered variety. We've got plenty of others about other varieties. Right. Anyway, as we said, not only is there an influx of players coming into the club, but some of our younger players have decided to go and hone their skills abroad. So we've got a series of reports here from some of our players. We've got Luke Maslin, Ethan Davey and Tom Etheridge all abroad.
Just before you press play, Matthew, I think it's very brave of Ethan and Eto to go to the place where Eric, Maggott and Cockles went, to say that they came from the same club.
Well, they obviously came back much better players, didn't they?
Do you hear about the favourite game that they used to play?
No.
So they used to play a game called Possum, right? So basically what you had to do is get a case of beer, go up and sit in a tree, and you weren't allowed to come down and finish until you finished a case of beer or you fell out the tree. That's a good game, Bear. We should do that.
What if you never fall out of the tree?
Well, once you finish your case of... You can come down safely.
I'm not sure I'd want to.
It's good fun, though, isn't it? It's a good game. Anyway.
As long as no one is underneath the tree when I fall out of it. I can imagine that would flatten me quite bad. Anyway,
that's a big acorn.
So anyway, how many videos have we got, current producer?
26.
We have 2, just the same number of double hundreds and that Listy got.
And how many times is on the more?
So we
got one that was sent just before Christmas and one that was sent.
Okay, so we got one sent when they just arrived, and one sent now that they've been drinking heavily. Honing their cricket skills for 3 months. So
but we still haven't had a podcast in that whole time.
No, I know, it's incredible. So take it away, current producer. Let's see what they've got to say.
Clapperboard, is he doing?
Evening Bear and Barnes fans, and welcome to Pleasant Point Cricket Club in New Zealand. I'm here with Oxford Downs overseas Ethan Davey and head coach Mike Otley. Mike, tell us about the season so far, a little introduction about the club.
Yeah, sure. So, season so far, we've had two good pre-season games, and then we started the season, the Premier team 3 out of 3, so great start. Second grade reserve team's done really, really well. They've had 2 wins as well. President's team started really well too. The women's team who was sent into Christchurch, so that's new for our club. We've got a women's team playing up in the Christchurch competition, so they start this weekend. In the junior club, a couple of teams have got underway, so I think we've got 7 junior teams. So yeah, really exciting start for Wayne Racing.
Awesome. Yeah, it's been a great start, looking to get some finals in sort of March, April time with the 50 over and the T20.
Yeah, so March, so I think the T20 final is going to be in February and then the 50 over in March, so it's really cool. Yeah, exciting season. Yeah.
And Ethan, tell us about your time here so far, enjoyed it?
Yeah, it's been real good. We've got some good wins behind the belt and gelled in with the boys quite nicely, and yeah, definitely made some lifelong friends already, so yeah, been real good,
It's a great setup here, absolutely loving it, very similar to Downs. 3 wins from 3. And favourite position?
So no, just something I'd like to on behalf of Pleasant Point Cricket Club. It's great to have you two over here, but I would say at the moment you're still second and third as far as our overseas players from Oxford Downs. Costley's still number 1, so hopefully we do a report later on in the season and you've stepped up to his standards.
We'll see how we go.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks guys. Cheers.
I'm not going to have to watch this.
Evening Bear and Barnes fans, welcome to Pleasant Point Cricket Club in New Zealand. Here I am with the best set of twins in New Zealand, the Beck family. Liam, captain, fantastic. How have we gone so far?
Yeah, we've started pretty well. 3 from 3 in the normal competition so far, and we've got the bye this weekend, and then one more game to go. So yeah, everyone's sort of contributed in the team. So Tom's going all right, which is good. Thanks, boys. And yeah, we're just looking to keep building and building towards the finals and playoffs, so we'll carry on. So yeah.
And Adam, best thing about Pleasant Point, very similar to Downs?
Yeah, probably the pub's probably one of the best things in Pleasant Point, I think. Yeah, obviously with the 2 boys living quite close to it, it's quite handy, going upstairs and having a few beers and then shooting out the pub. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
And Liam, aspirations for the season, what are we looking to do?
Well, obviously we want to win championships, so I think for the start of the season we're looking pretty good, but obviously championships aren't won in October, New Zealand summer. So yeah, we've got to shoot for the stars. So yeah, win championships 2020 in one day comp.
Absolutely. And favourite position, Adam?
It'd be cow, I reckon.
Cow.
Yep.
Lovely. Beautiful. Cheers, guys.
Is he waving his finger?
We're live, right, yeah.
So I just want to say that the APB, international APB on Adam Beck has now been cancelled because he did actually bring me some money at the end of last season when he came over as a sneak visit. And I've obviously donated that to Maggot's cause. So he's no longer being chased by Interpol.
I had to take him to a cash point with a gun into his back, get him to get the money.
Very good. Very good seconding. And we did notice on that video that it looks like the first part of it was filmed in the winter.
Yeah.
Where it looks absolutely horrible and freezing. And then they turned around and it was bright sunshine.
Well, rumour has it took them as long to do that clip as it did for us to get another podcast.
Really?
Yeah, months.
6 months.
Something like that. It's ridiculous.
That's extraordinary. But it does look a little bit like Coathorpe, that ground.
It does, doesn't it?
Very similar to Coathorpe.
And it looks like we've got another clip coming up in a minute, but also their coach, who's stretching the Adidas sign very well.
He's definitely
He's clearly sponsored by Adidas, isn't he?
Because the other one is sponsored by Adidas. And as I said, it's very good to see them overseas with their Oxford Downs kit.
Yes. So we got another clip, haven't we? For it's more up to date. Right.
Right. So this is now we're going to see what's happened to them, what they've turned into after honing their skills for 3 months.
And
Good evening, Bear and Barnes fans, and welcome to Pleasant Point Cricket Club in New Zealand. I'm here with Mike Otley, head coach, and Ethan Davey, overseas. We have the Beck brothers currently watching us, so if any of us laugh, apologies. Mike, tell us a little bit about Pleasant Point as a cricket club.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, sure. Pleasant Point is a small country cricket club in the middle of the South Island of New Zealand. We've got 3 senior men's teams, a senior women's team which plays in the Christchurch competition. Geez, they are laughing in the background.
They are laughing in the background. Ignore it. Smile and wave.
Put that away. We've got a junior club, 7 teams. Really strong and very, very well supported.
Yeah, it's an awesome club and we loved our time here so far. And East, tell us a bit about your time so far. Have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's been amazing. Played some real good cricket. Met some real good bunch of blokes, and you know, friends for life. And I think we can both admit we've both developed our cricket and pretty ready to go into the season back home at Downs. But yeah, no, very grateful for everyone over here for how they facilitated us.
Absolutely. I might tell us a little bit about the season so far. We've gone pretty well so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, on and off the field. I mean, you've been very popular with the accents with the local ladies, both of you. So I'll let you guys tell that story when you get home. But on the field, both contributed really well. Tom's leading the wicket taking, heading into Saturday's 50 over final. Both in the top 5 for run scorers. So yeah, it's been great, and absolutely pleasure to host you, and of course you're welcome back.
Thanks very much. And hopefully we have some boys over to Downs at some point.
Yeah, well, you can go and spread the word. They're all welcome.
Absolutely,
more than merrier.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Heath.
Cheers.
I'm now here with the best brothers in Pleasant Point, which isn't a very big area. The Beck brothers, Adam, who many of you know already, ex-overseas from Oxford Downs, and Liam, his twin brother, who is our captain here at Pleasant Point. Liam, tell us a bit about the season so far. How have we gone?
We've got the one-day final this weekend against Celtic. So we played a semi last weekend with actually these two scoring bulk of our runs, Edinburgh 130 and Tom 60 odd. So yeah, final this weekend at Arangi in Timaru, so hopefully it'll be a good game. We got good weather in the forecast, so yeah. Other than that, we've wrapped up the T20 competition probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, and we actually ended up taking it out. So yeah, that was a good team effort throughout the season. There's a few Thursday night games, so people are stretched with work, and obviously people can't make it. So we've had a few ins and outs, and bringing a few new people into the team. So it's been good. A few new young kids that we've brought in, they've done well. So yeah.
Good night out after as well?
Very good night, yeah. Yep.
Good fun, wasn't it?
You sing along, so
yeah.
And
can't
remember it.
So, and Adam and Liam both playing for South Canterbury as well, with Bill, who's behind the camera, who's actually on a golden keg for anyone back home who'd like to know.
Yes, I am.
And we've managed to win our zone and earn a challenge against Hawke's Bay up in Napier. That's sort of the equivalent to minor counties.
Yeah,
back home. So yeah, tell us a bit about South Canterbury stuff.
Yeah, so South Canterbury just to pick out of obviously the clubs around in South Canterbury, which is 4 clubs.
Yeah, 4 or 5 clubs.
And it's the first time we've had a challenge since 2013, I think. So it's quite hard to get, and you play 3 other teams in a 2-day competition. So 2 home, 2 away, and basically all these games sort of come down to first innings. But we managed to have a bit of a sort of, we called it an ant ball, so a bit of Baz ball
Ant
there,
ball.
and yeah, managed to come out with a couple of outrights and a first innings. So we wrapped up the challenge before our last game. So we had a bit of a trip down to Makaga, which is about 5-6 hours away. So it was a bit of a nothing game, but we ended up
another good couple of
evenings there, and ended up dropping that game, but it was sort of a nothing game. So, but other than that, yeah, head up to Napier in about 7 or 8 days to face a very good Hawke's Bay team, which will be a tough game, but be a good trip.
And debut first class matches.
Yes, first class game for the boys, so it should be good.
Let's hope Bill gets off his keg.
Yeah.
Stay
tuned for this weekend.
Yeah. Thanks, Adam and Liam. Hopefully we wrap up the 50 over final on Saturday. It'd be pretty cool to win that as well and come home with a couple of trophies, and then maybe the South Canterbury one.
See you, Beer and Barnes.
Thanks, guys.
Go, Bill.
We're back, thanks to the boys. So, and we also have Luke Maslin, who is away in Australia, scoring lots of runs.
Well, that best-looking man in England,
I bet he's having a
pro.
torrid time
Yeah,
in Australia.
So. Yeah.
Those Aussies won't like him at all. Those
No.
Aussies they won't like him at all. He's got nothing going for them, for him at all.
Ugly
Anyway, he has promised. So if this gets back to him at any stage, he has promised that he will send us a video of what he's getting up to in Australia.
He did send me one of those videos, but we can't
No,
share
yes,
it
no,
on
that's not
here.
right. So we have people in New Zealand, we have people in Australia, but I still think that Freddie Bear having to make do in Cardiff is just as dangerous.
Well, to be fair, for him to go to a third world country and spend 3 years, that's brilliant.
Exactly,
Absolutely
it's fantastic.
Same.
Okay, so let's get on to second favourite son. Second favourite son, the one that didn't get the one ticket to go to Edinburgh with his father to the Calcutta Cup, is running the marathon in
Yes,
April.
he is.
And are you helping him with his fitness regime?
Yes, I am, yeah.
Are you? And how many? What's the most he's run in one go so far?
I don't know.
You don't know? Are you not? I thought you were in charge
I
of
think,
training.
I don't know, but, Wills is very methodical. He's following a programme, and he will follow that to the letter of the law. So there you go. So
That's brilliant. And the even better news is that another grandchild on the way.
Yes, May,
And
yeah.
how does that feel?
Yeah, well, it doesn't make any difference, does it, to May, haven't you?
So Maggot must be doing something right.
I don't know if he knows what's causing it. Poor old Ida's like a puppy farm. Oh, don't go out, shit, no. Baby boy, brilliant.
And when's it due?
May,
right in the middle of the cricket season.
Yeah, well, it hardly affected him last time,
I
did it?
sincerely hope he doesn't
No.
miss any games for the birth of a child.
Well, he's not going to, is he?
I mean, come on, priorities.
He won't.
I mean, what happens if it happens on Saturday? I mean, you'll have to go instead and do the hand-holding stuff and yes, I'm sure it hurts.
Is that what you did? You thought he worked?
No, I actually bounced, when Freddie Bear came out, I was bouncing up and down top of one of those big bouncy balls.
Why?
Because it was there.
Well, you went to the gym.
It was there. It was there. No, that's all. So, and he's raising money for the Thames Valley Air Ambulance.
Yes, he is.
Which is
yeah.
And we had promised to put on our Instagram link. The Badger is doing it as we speak. A link so that you can all pay money into his Just Giving or whatever it is, or OnlyFans site, so that and help earn him some money that way, if that's possible.
Yeah.
Thames Air. Not Thames Valley. Thames Air Ambulance. So it's not a valley.
Why do you take your glasses off to look at your
know,
phone?
I don't know.
That's all a bit odd, isn't it? It's asked about face, chap. And what are you doing?
Yes. So that's fantastic.
And we've got a bingo night.
Yes, so
to
we have
raise
bingo
money.
night on the 12th, which is the perfectly timed to be the return game that Arsenal play Porto. Luckily, because I was so disorganised, I didn't realise there was a new ticketing system at the Emirates, and I forgot to get my tickets for that game. So I am available to do the hosting. And as I said, you and I, between now and then, are going to. How many numbers are in bingo? Is it 90?
Top of the shop 90. Yes,
Right.
it is. Yeah.
So you and I are going to have our own 1 to 90 or 0 to 90?
1 to 90.
You can see I know a lot about bingo.
You do, don't you? Yeah.
So we're going to put our own funny things next to each number.
Let's
so
do
let
it.
me call it out. But I was told before I came out today, don't do anything abusive or nasty or derogatory or anything like that.
So does that mean that two fat ladies is no longer a thing?
No, I think that's fine.
Is it?
Yeah, because that was traditionally what people used to do.
Yes.
So, but we're doing new stuff now. We're writing new stuff.
We're new.
Putting a modern slant on inappropriateness. So
look forward to it.
Yeah. So anyway, our new league that we're in, which it is highest league in place. Our first 3 games are Banbury away, Henley at home, Aston Rowan away. Now I think that's a pretty hot start to a season. Banbury's great because that's I played one of the first ever league games on that pitch back in the 1920s, and it was lethal. But it's now actually quite a nice pitch. But Jack Brooks will be opening the bowling against our boys.
Yes, he will be.
We assume he might because there is so much competition for places. They may be opening batting for the seconds.
Well, List is making a comeback.
Yeah, so if Jack Brooks opens the bowling for Banbury seconds against our seconds, then our boys might stand a chance.
No, they might do, yeah.
There's going to be a lot of competition for places this season, and that's great for the club. So I'm excited about that. Also, in other news, in the Tony Pullinger Trophy, I believe it's Tony Pullinger, my old cricket master, an absolute legend of the game, and I saw his son at the Emirates only on Saturday evening because he's a massive Arsenal fan. We've been drawn against Tiddington away in that.
Well, Arsenal?
What?
Been drawn against Tiddington?
No.
Oh.
Oxford.
Sorry.
I didn't know there was a Pullinger Trophy, but have we been in that before?
No, never heard of it.
Have we been in that before? First time. Reinstated Pullinger Trophy.
And what
I'm
is
very
it?
pleased
50
to hear
over, 20 over, slap and tickle over?
It's 20 over, so it's a T20.
So it's the
So that's
T20
fantastic.
stuff that's renamed itself the Pullinger
Pullinger
Trophy.
Trophy. Oxfordshire Knockout. That's what it used to be, the Oxfordshire Knockout. Okay, I'm with you now. And yes, Tony Pullinger, great name and legend. Rest in peace, Pully. And in the VKO, we got Cropperdy away, back to Banbury.
Other side of.
Yes, so off to Cropperdy. They're a good club. They're a good village club. I know quite a lot of their players from yesteryear. Lynchy.
Yeah, good old
all those boys, they're good players. That'll be a very exciting game as well. So looking forward to that.
And is there a Pete the Heat trophy or not?
Well, I think the Bouncy Castle situation is going to have to. We do need to get a Bouncy Castle.
Well, it's
here
been a
this
bit
year.
deflated
Pete
lately,
the
isn't it?
It has, yeah. I think the whole business went pop. And but Pete the Heat is still around. We will see Pete the Heat this season.
Good.
Which
Pleased
is good
about
news. So finally, we're going to mention our women's team. So for many, many years, we have had a team of women playing on Friday night called the Pink Ladies.
Indeed.
But this is not them. I don't know. Are there any Pink Ladies that have made the cut for the women's team? There are. Well, that's brilliant to know. So they have evolved into a league team, and they're playing in what sounds like a very fancy league, the Home Counties Premier. And is that the highest standard of cricket that amateur women can play? It's a development league.
Development league.
So,
so are there some of the original Pink Sheep ladies, women, that have made it into the new? Is there? Blimey, how
and I think that's very exciting news. And will they be playing any home games here?
Yes, so there's a Sunday game here, it's a triple header. It's in May.
Yes, on a Sunday, Bear.
Well, I'm just thinking.
Sunday.
Yes, I know, but I'm just thinking that we might be able to do some commentary.
Yes, I was hoping so.
Well, I don't know, because there's a lot of people very upset that the Sunday team can't play cricket. I'm just saying.
Do we have a Sunday team?
It's the best team in the club, mate. What are you on about?
Is that one of those fancy hats you use?
Jazzat.
Anyway, we ought to also mention too that we have a loyalty scheme at the club now. I don't fully understand it because I haven't read the small print, but apparently the more beer you drink, the more points you get, and the more beer you can drink with those points.
Brilliant.
But you can't get points for points.
No.
So if you drink more beer with the points you got for drinking lots of bear, you don't get more points to drink more beer after that.
No, but remember, drink sensibly.
Yes. Very, very sensible. You must drink sensibly. So that's the loyalty scheme. And how do we know? Does that go on a card? Do we have our own little card that gets swiped? It's a mobile phone thing.
It's a film, 2 words.
That sounds brilliant.
2 syllables, drink.
So the Badger's going to do a visual on what's going on here. Here he is. This is our friend the Badger. Let's have a look, because I've never seen this.
Yeah.
It's got one of those funny squiggly things that you photograph. Those squiggly things that you photograph.
Yeah.
I don't know what they are.
Worms.
Anyway, so I'll be trying my hardest to. And do you get loyalty points for drinking non-alcoholic beer?
And tea.
Nice. So that's very good news, isn't it?
Oh, well, it depends on the bottom line of the
and
profit.
We've also just been told in other news that the bear pit is going to be modified in the next couple of weeks.
It's going to have some flaps on it.
It's going to have flaps. The bear pit with flaps, and these are going to be outward viewing only flaps that creak. And so we can see when the ball goes past us whether it's going to the boundary or not, or it's going to be caught.
Somebody said something about a scoring system when somebody walks past.
Yes, I don't know what that was all about. No. But it sounds like we're going to have an awful lot of fun in the bear pit this season.
Well, let's hope we park it miles away from the mill stand, because you get carried away. We got any blinkers for him yet?
It does take quite a lot of people to carry me away, to be
Coming forth to carry me home?
Not likely. Yes. A rugby team, I should say, would just about handle it, so I think we're almost at the end of our first podcast for 6 months. I think we've covered quite a lot of information.
Not a lot.
It's been a bit woolly. And since it's surrounded by sheep, that's good. But we'll be more precise next time. Barnes was upset I didn't give him 20 questions. But
very. I've been practicing.
Next episode he will get 20 questions, and we will have, hopefully, Master in Charge of Cricket sitting here, and the new captain, and perhaps 2 of the new captains, because Curtly Slatter is new captain the seconds.
Rumour has it.
So we have new captains.
He's getting married in the cricket season and having a stag do in the middle of the cricket season.
I don't know what's going on. I got married in the middle day, in between hockey season and cricket season, 5th of April, last day of the tax year.
I got married.
No one was upset except the Inland Revenue.
I got married on a Wednesday, played rugby on the Saturday, went to Toronto 4 days, came back, played rugby, now divorced.
And there you go. If you want to know how to make it... Oh, Liverpool have just scored.
Stay professional, Barnes.
So, yes. You don't see Clyde Miley doing stuff like that.
Who's that?
Well, with a bloke who coughed himself to death on the news this evening.
That was Bob Fleming.
Anyway, anything else to add, Mark?
No, it's good to see you. Matt, thanks ever so much for letting us do
Thank you for remembering
podcast.
that we exist, current producer. It's been ever so kind.
But we've got a competition with another podcast.
Competition is healthy, and we will be using subversive tactics to make sure that we are the only one that counts. So watch out, Woodsy.
Yeah,
we're coming to get you.
You and K-Dog.
Yeah. So anyway, Barnes.
It's a good night from you.
And it's a good night from him.
Good night.